All right, guys, once again, welcome back to our session. It's your boy again, Stina254. Uh, hmm. Today, as we promised, that it was BugBounty Thursday, and we could have a session, a practical demonstration that I could run for that is going to run for 1.5 hours, maybe approximately 1+ hours. For today, we take up maybe I take you to some kind of theory, then major and practical. The first session we ran through Recon, reconnaissance information gathering, but only using Burp tool for obtaining live subdomains and the rest. Again, maybe uh, uh, hmm, most sessions are coming soon, I think. As we promised, we get some visitors to run from next week Thursday. From next week BugBounty Thursday, it will be run from by a visitor, taking us through some given topics. And if you have a topic, you can come on so that we can have you online for the same session. Thanks. Now let's run the session as planned. All right. If I'm clear, maybe someone can send maybe one or something like a text in the chat box so that I can start immediately without wasting time. Wow. Nice. Thanks, guys. Uh, hmm. So our session, as I said earlier on, we're gonna take the Burp the BugBounty Thursday. It runs from 9 maybe to 8:30 if the content becomes wide. Alvin Mobi, that's my Twitter name is Titan254. You can find my articles at medium stroke at Titan254. I'm a penetration tester, software developer, BugBounty hunter, technical writer, CTF player, and I'm also a computer science student. Maybe as we're gonna take through the fireside talks and the practical session, you can grab your coffee as we go on. Our topics that we're gonna cover today. What is bug bounty? How to rank bug bounties? Types of vulnerabilities in bug bounty. Practical sessions that we're gonna cover will be the Recon, as I talked about using Burp only. We're gonna talk about SQL injection with SQL map, cross-site scripting, WebSocket vulnerabilities, information disclosure, questions, and finally take us through questions and comments. So let us go on with what is bug bounty. Bug bounty, it is a reward offered to a person who identifies errors or vulnerabilities in a system. By talking of a system, I mean web application, Android application, network, hardware, or any other kind of a system. It is maybe relevant to keep defining the bug bounty because maybe day in day out to get new members in the bug bounty yard. How to rank bug bounties? To be a geek, to be a big dog, to be a big boy in bug bounties, you have the ability to understand vulnerabilities well. Maximum in a range of 1 to 10, you should be above average. Practice on the impact because impact and the exploitation of different kinds of vulnerabilities. Because in bug bounty we only talk about impact, nothing exact impact. What's the impact of your vulnerability? What can you exploit your vulnerability to get? What privilege escalation? I mean, what can the system lose? What can the company lose by exploiting your vulnerability? So, okay, you have to have you have to practice on the impact and the exploitation of the vulnerabilities. Concerning automated testing, you should come up with your own automation scripts, maybe using Python and Bash scripting. Here, you try to be different from the tools that have been laid on the online space. Come up with your tool that maybe avoids the false positives and the rest, exploits vulnerabilities in different endpoints. Then we have the manual testing. If you are such a guy of using scripts that's automated testing, we have two types of people in BugBounty. The guys that are lean on tools, guys that are lean on manual testing, and maybe you can have the third person that partly maybe the guys who use automated testing and manual testing. So if you are manual testing, come up with tricks, different kinds of tricks of approaching vulnerabilities. Avoid false positives. The bypassing and the rest. You get it. So our next trick is to read disclosed bug bounty reports. By saying this, I mean that maybe the disclosed vulnerabilities like hack activity, maybe the hacker one player and the rest. Read bug bounty articles. This is very necessary. Bug bounty tips, very necessary. And last, but most importantly, you should practice, practice, and practice, because practice makes perfect, and never give up. Our next topic, we're going to talk about vulnerabilities and bug bounty. Vulnerabilities that I have highlighted in this session. These are the top 10 worst vulnerabilities. They may not be in order, but we start by injections, talking of SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and the rest. Broken authentication. Here we bring in the indirect object references. We have a sensitive data exposure, broken access, security misconfiguration, cross-site scripting, insecure direct object references, cross-site request forgery, using components with known vulnerabilities, insufficient logging and monitoring, amongst many other vulnerabilities such as WebSocket vulnerabilities, um, and the rest. So our next topic, we're gonna talk about practical session. Wow, this was fast. I think we're gonna lean into a practical session. This was our aim for today's session. So we're gonna start with reconnaissance using Burp only. And our target for tonight, we're gonna use Twitter. We're gonna hack using. That's gonna be interesting. Wow, Dennis record the meeting. The meeting is under recorded by someone else. It will be available for share after the session. Now I'll repeat it. I'll tweet the slides too. Wow, I think I have Burp on. Just getting my target ready. So we're gonna hack our Twitter. I'm gonna have Twitter for now. Alright, so our target for tonight is Twitter. Yeah, let's stop this screen now. The Linux. Just going to set up. Wow. My Linux is clear. Alright. So for us to use Burp, we first will take a step at identify our target, which is behind this. Oh yeah, here we go. So our target for tonight, our target for the session, is let's use our Twitter. I mean, we're gonna have Twitter. How about that? Seems interesting. Alright, let's go in. Let's dig in. So the first step that we're gonna do, we're gonna use maybe Subfind Online to collect subdomains. subdomains and IP addresses and IP addresses. Then using BugBounty, we're gonna identify the protocols. So we will get something over here, back here, concerning the session, concerning BugBounty Recon. Yeah, here we're gonna get live subdomains. We're gonna get live subdomains by differentiating from the non-responsive subdomains. The next we're gonna get a protocol, usually maybe HTTPS, HTTP. Then lastly and most importantly, we're gonna get the status code like error 41, error 43, whereby maybe we're gonna try to bypass the restricted areas. So we're gonna have Twitter later. Twitter. So our target. Well, we have enough time. Wow. So our first step is to get subdomains, both dead and alive. So go to subdomain finder and share the URL in the chat box. Yes, you can find it there. So we go to subdomain finder .c99.nl to find our subdomains. Let's scan. Okay, we have a private scan. If you don't want to, maybe the login server. Let's go. Let's go. Oh yeah, here we go. So our subdomains, we have the IP address. Since backend runs at Cloudflare. So let's open a Limbo. Wow, yeah. We're gonna use maybe you can use Microsoft Excel to separate the subdomains. I mean, I'm not using. Yeah. We're gonna use Microsoft Excel. For me, I'm using the LibreOffice Calc. This is for Linux to separate the subdomains from the IP addresses from the Cloudflare stuff over there. So we copy. Our first step, we're gonna copy this. What's going on? Oh, I mean, it's for the demo gods. Today we ain't demo gods. Just forgive us today. Let's copy this. We're gonna copy this right and paste it over here. This text I know can take a maximum of 1.5 minutes. So our first step, you go to subdomain finder.c99.nl. You paste your domain. You copy the subdomains with the IP addresses. Then you're gonna paste them over this endpoint. After which, taking too slow. Don't like this, but it has to happen. Let's give it 1 minute. Why is this? It's taking some time to paste. Wow. Next time I'm gonna get some good drama. Okay, so let's check our lookup. So we said we're gonna get live subdomains. We're gonna check the protocol. Use whether HTTP or HTTPS. Then get the status code. Maybe we have a status code 200, 100, 41, 43. Then you can test it for bypasses using we can test unauthorized and forbidden. 43 bypasser. We are getting something Okay, what I'm doing now, I'm trying to get ready our payloads to bypass the 43. That's this testing. I don't know why it's taking some time. Standard. We go to the 43 bypasser. Install. And the payloads. Yeah, there we go. So payloads and the payloads. I mean, what you pressed on there? This is not good. It's not good. I think I have to get a lesson program. Select all. Maybe smartest.com. Trying to get some. Wow. Yeah. Smartest.com. Huh? Let's use this. Boom, boom. So, still, I'm gonna use the demo parts and I don't know why. Oh, let's copy this, copy that, copy this, copy that. It's the most technical part. But now, copy this, copy that. Must take 10 seconds. Meanwhile, it's for three header bypass. Header for three bypass using header payloads and getting them ready for the war. And wow, here we go. So these are some domains. Okay, maybe we to make some highlight, we changed our target from Twitter to markets.com. It's an external program. For those of you who are bug bounty hunters, you can have a look, you can try your luck and get some bounty. At this point now we have the subdomains. So subdomains. Well, yeah. Delete this. We have to delete this. So subdomains. Postmarkets.com. Then it's our IP addresses in this column. So we check out the subdomains. We're gonna check out for live subdomains and non-live subdomains. There are 4, 3, 4, 1, 4, 4 kind of data, 3 or 2 redirect endpoints. So our first step, we check markets.com and restrict our target to Florida. That and we're gonna create a scope. Here we go. / oh yeah. So next again we're gonna add this, then the false over here. So this is gonna help us to restrict our traffic that we are trafficking over here in the HTTP history. So and we're gonna search for markets.com. Yeah, let's do it. Markets.com. Oh, it's a gambling site. From a perspective, it's a gambling site, kind of debate and the rest. So in HTTP history, you can check over here. It's only from markets.com, markets.com, nothing else. Teams are web socketer. We're gonna test the vulnerability at the same time. So we send this to the repeater. So repeater, I mean intruder. At our intruder, we clear. Then we highlight the HTTP protocol, the protocol sector. We highlight this markets.com sector, the URL sector. Then we're gonna use a cluster bomb. So that we can be able, so that we can be at a position now to use multiple payload sets. Then go to payload sector. So we're gonna add HTTP We have two kinds of protocol that we're gonna test. HTTPS hypertext transfer protocol encrypted. I mean, no, yeah, move this up. Okay, HTTPS. Wow, yeah, that's good. Then our second list, this one gonna target this markets.com. So we go for our payloads, we bring them here. Payloads, we bring them here. Press them here. Oh, yeah. So since a request made for a request made, and if a response comes 404, there's no way the request can change. So you're gonna request count is 40. You're gonna go to our source pool. Request count is 40. Nothing else, nothing less, nothing more, nothing less, nothing more. Yeah. Then I start attack. And that was fast, huh? We have three ones that redirect. Then we have 200. Okay, we can filter. I mean, you can filter. We want 200 responses only, 200 endpoints only. There we go. We have one, two, to the community.markets.com and status.com. Okay, so for 200, okay, 200, okay, responses. We have community.markets.com. It was a HTTPS. HTTPS. Then HTTPS status.markets.com. So for the successful request that 200, okay, we're gonna make money from community.markets.com and status.markets.com. Back to our analysis. And oh yeah, we have markets.com. We're gonna add it to our endpoint. HTTPS markets.com. Oh yeah, make it right. Then now we have nothing less, nothing more. So let's check out for the 4.3 and 4.1 that we're gonna try bypassing. Filter. None. Jesus Christ. There's none at this end pointer. We lack error 4.3, error 4.1 that we could have tried bypass. Bypass. Wow, this is it. So you can use BugBounty to analyze. Then maybe send something in the repeater. It doesn't sound good. Repeater. There we go. We send the request. Check the response. You can try different kinds of attack. Maybe let's check for the cross origin source sharing. TS.com. And now, no, this is not a successful attack. Let's take the protocol. I mean, I saw something like those switching protocols, WebSockets. Okay, oh, we're going to analyze WebSockets later on. So from our analysis, we were able to get live subdomains. We were able to get the protocol used, HTTPS encrypted. We were able to get the redirection. There you go. We have 302, 301, the redirection endpoints. For this, maybe redirect to the it's still the help that are given endpoint. redirect the home page. I mean, it's markets status.markets.com. Wow! So we are able to get the status code. So what I'm gonna try next up, I'm gonna try fuzzing, getting. Okay, this was not in our notes, but it's necessary that we do it. Getting endpoints, getting leader credentials, getting open endpoints that are gonna give you some bounty. Let's get something interesting. We're gonna take markets. Let's take this one with the intruder for further analysis. Wow. So at this point, we're gonna test it for maybe local file inclusion vulnerabilities. The kind sending the repeater faster. So our local file inclusion vulnerability just want to make name. We have this one, etc stroke password. Yeah, send it. Oh, bad requester. Wow, let's try it in the intruder. Doctor. Yeah, maybe let's have something like a 2. We highlight this 2 and this 2. Wow, payloads. Let's check our payloads. Okay, we're gonna get a payload. So you can go to the sec list. I think that's good that I share this the chat box. So, saying someone will share them. So let's check for file inclusion vulnerabilities. Let's check get some file inclusion payloads. Over here, hold some payloads. We have 920 payloads. Let's copy them. Go back to intruder, paste them. Since our response is a response, so let's make them only 920 requests. Save time. We're gonna save time tonight. 920 requests because you have something else to do. Wow. I was faster. I like my RAM. Let's fill that time for 200 success responses so that oh, none. I mean, none. So our payloads were never brought something home. Let's try something else. Some payloads. Wow, some interesting triangles kind of 9,000 9K payloads. Copy there. We trust our machine, right? Yeah. So go back, scan payloads. Paste. Wow, 9K. Can we do it? Yeah, let's do it. We'll start attack. It's gonna take 30 minutes, or I mean, just 30 seconds. Last time I did this, I got some good endpoint. What about today? What about today? Somewhere, bad requester. Let's filter for successful requester. I'm gonna show you how local file inclusion vulnerabilities appear. I don't want joke endpoint at hacker1. I'm gonna show you. Here we go. Oh my. Nothing successful. Nothing successful. Oh, we lost this. Yeah. Let's get back. Oh, what's our time? Int bad on the clock. Let's check some good endpoints. Check some good endpoints. We lose that one. Okay, you can check up for maybe databases. Wow. Maybe okay. I saw some database backup. Database backup. Database backup. Oh, can try that next time. But I think at this point we have the fuzzing basics. Our next practical session, we're gonna have to do SQL injection. What's a SQL injection? What is SQL injection? From a larger perspective, SQL injection are critical vulnerabilities. A SQL injection and an SQL injection is a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with the queries that an application makes to the database. It generally allows an attacker to view data that they are not normally able to retrieve. So, vulnerable endpoint tonight, we have test php.vulnerable, maybe. Wow, we're gonna use a scale map to oh, to exploit this endpoint. Let's copy it, copy that, copy this, copy that. Oh, here we go. So, create our right endpoint. One other endpoint is this one. Wow, yeah. Let's do some test. I mean, test. I'm using a scale map from GitHub, not my Linux scale, because the demo got this something last time. So Python 3, let's craft it. Yeah, Python 3. We have already crafted it. Nothing less, nothing more. Let's copy it, save time. There we go. So we're gonna check for. Oh wow. Let's check out maybe. Let's add some commands for auto selection and auto exploitation. I mean, so we have merge banner. Oh, wait, give me some time, some seconds. It's taking time. Anyway, okay. Our endpoint is this. So to test for SQL injection, so you take this endpoint to your browser. My browser tonight is Firefox and Chrome, but I love Firefox. And you add this thing. Let me. How do you call it? I hide this. I mean, is it clear? It's one container. A hyphen that dot something. Okay, you add it. Then I can check the response. Oh, for the response. Wow, you can see we have a SQL error, SQL injection error. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL server version for the. Okay, it's a SQL injection. It's a SQL error. I mean, so this error when you do this kind of an injection and you get this kind of an error, this means that it is vulnerable to SQL injection. At this point, you can screenshot then report this vulnerability and enjoy your bounty. It's already a good and enough proof of concept. So we're gonna use. Wow, that's all faster. So we use the SQL map to detect and exploit this vulnerability. SQL map detected the vulnerability. Get parameter cut is generic union null 20 columns injectable. So the parameter is blind based blind. Yeah, error based, time based union query. This is interesting. The backend database management system is MySQL, and the rest has some good stuff here. So if you are a bug bounty hunter, then you came across such a juicy endpoint, use the SQL map, then it exploited vulnerability and this kind of look. So there's nothing more, nothing less, nothing more. So you just a screenshot, report your vulnerability, enjoy your bounty. Wow, cheers. Gonna meet this next time. So our next vulnerability that we're gonna talk about is about to take I mean, yeah, let's check for sleeping time at our Burp suit. That's gonna be good. Go for target scope and remove this. remove this. So proxy, remember, here we go. Take this one now. What's that? Endpoint of ours. Yeah, go. Let's joke with it. Let's joke with it using Burp shooter. Here we go. Intercept on. Proxy, do something, sir. This web socket. Let's drop it. Here you go. This is our endpoint. You send the repeater. The repeater sender. Check for the error. SQL error. Wow, let's move this. It was faster. Let's go to here. Here we go. Yeah. So our endpoint, here we go. We send the repeater. You can test a lot of vulnerabilities in such an endpoint. If you are logged in, you can test for indirect object references for 2 given accounts. Then at the same time, if you are it's going to be expensive. I mean, so you can test for indirect object references over here. We've got, let's get this requester. We're going to test for IDOR later on. So back here, we're going to use the payloads generated by SQL map for time-based blinder. That one and yeah, copy this, copy that, copy this, copy that. Space. Copy. Request. I mean, something is not. Let's start by testing for the error. You add that cutting, that apostrophe kind of, I don't know its name. Then check for the error. Our response contains an error. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's the error. Error. You have an error in your SQL Injection. It's a good proof of concept. Then you can try getting data from the databases using different payloads. I see time is not on our side. So our next vulnerability, we're going to talk about cross-site scripting. Allow me to copy this, copy that. Paste it here. Let's do some analysis of the source code. I mean, inspection. That's screenshot. F12. Yeah, here we go. So let's place A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I mean, cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. The vulnerabilities that use malicious code when injected in a browser. Cross-site scripting vulnerabilities can help an attacker to steal to perform attacks like session hijacking and the rest. Maybe it can lead to account takeover. So back here on our exploitation of APZD, ABCD, F, G, H. Yeah, let me fix this. And yet, sorry for that. So let's start for this. Oh, Control F. Let's start for this in the this code. Let this be there. Let's copy this, take it to Firefox, and then just Chrome. Yeah, here we go. Good. Well, seems interesting. Oh, bring this. So let's check for where our A B C D E F G H went. So let's check check inspector. Oh, here we go. So A B C D E F G. Okay. Oh, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what I'm gonna do, what I'm doing, I'm trying to analyze the JavaScript in the coder. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in our code? Here we go. So our coder has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 3 points. One in between the link endpoint. We have the breaking here, here, and here. Now let's get a payload. We are trying to exploit cross-site scripting. So script alert, script alert 1. Script. Let's try. Oh, pop up. Oh. Let's check again. Let's go back to our source code. Check again something interesting. So back here, here. We can check that maybe we need to escape some code. Let's try this. Okay. Our first payload was this. Let's try to close something and close something, then open for our payload. Here we go. Cheers. Congratulations. Report your bug. Get some bounty. This is a cross-site scripting pop-up. So attackers can use this kind of vulnerability to get and exploit session hijacking vulnerabilities. So our next vulnerability we're going to talk about is WebSocket vulnerabilities. We have some time, probably 10 minutes or so. So our WebSocket is our WebSocket is a computer communications protocol providing full duplex, communication channels over a single TCP connection transfer control protocol with an API. With this API, you can send messages to a server and receive event-driven responses without having to call the server for a reply. So we're gonna use Portugal Labs to exploit this kind of vulnerability. Sorry for that echo. So we're gonna use Portugal to exploit this vulnerability. Portugal.net. Meanwhile, I saw we had some about it. Then wow, there we go. Version key connection keep alive. Oh wow. So when on our WebSocket, when you have a connection keep alive and the upgrader, that shows the handshake connections. We have an origin, seeing some origin here. Origin here. Oh, let's try something. Let's try some cross origin source sharing, then we can, as we know, we have when absence of cross-site request forgery tokens on WebSockets can lead to hijacking of sockets. The kind of attack may be called cross-site WebSocket hijacking. Its exploitation is such as it's the same duplicate of cross-site request forgery. Let's try something here. Things are good endpoint. Evil response. Wow. You see that? Anybody? Wow, I saw something. So we tried the origin from an attacker. It was allowed successfully. It was given access maybe to full access. So it's a vulnerability. Someone can note this down. If you're good at WebSockets, you have something here. You're gonna try later on, or you can report. So you can change this cross-origin source sharing to cross-site WebSocket hijacking. That's gonna be interesting. I think this must be a good night. So let's go back to our WebSockets history. We have several of them, numerous WebSockets. Let's see a new WebSocket from Portugal. WebSocket. Directly. Save time. Stainer, please save time. Stainer, save time. There we go. I think you noted that endpoint. Well, do you see endpoint? Last time I did that, I got a vulnerability and got some bounty. How about today? I'm going to exploit that later on, or someone can take it at the report. Wow! Manipulating WebSockets to exploit a vulnerability. Yeah, let's try this. Manipulating WebSocket messages to exploit our vulnerabilities. Right. Let's try this. So let's go back to our proxy. Intercept on, Fox proxy on, our left, forward. Okay, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to intercept the WebSockets so that we can have a look, analyze them, and maybe exploit the vulnerability. Ready? And go connected. Wow. What do you notice? I noticed something. I noticed something interesting. Let's redo it. Let's redo it. Ready? So means the ready commander retrieves data from the WebSockets. So forward ready, then connected, right? Content. Wow. How about we chat? Let's chat. I clean. Okay. I'll clean. I'll clean. Interesting name. So our messages, hi, Hal, clean. We intercepted the WebSockets. Forward. User U content, hi, Hal, clean. Typing. So Hal, clean is typing. I think I'll explain that later on. So Hal, clean is typing. I do wonder if you look as stupid as you sound sometimes. I mean, it's getting interesting. Wow, that's it. I do wonder if you look stupid as you sound sometimes. Wow, let's go back at the look at the history. Oh, that. Thank you, girl. There we go. So, the server, that was the first request. Back to R, connected. Let's check the latest. I had plane. That repeater we analyze. Hi, helpline. Let's reconnect. Nothing bad. No one will gain us. Send the request. Hi, helpline. So helpline is typing. Sorry, that's not something I'm familiar with. Alive, That's it. So we're gonna test out for vulnerabilities in this point. Hi, helpline. Message. You wanna test for cross-site scripting injection vulnerabilities. You wanna test for SQL injection. You wanna test for the all kinds of injection vulnerabilities. Let me show you. Let me take you. Have a look. Have an eye. It. So WebSockets are vulnerable to cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, cross-site request forgery vulnerability. When I deal with a cross-site request forgery vulnerability, this leads to cross-site WebSocket hijacking, which is a P1 critical vulnerability. We have a server-side request forgery, XML injection, SQL injection. So going back to manipulating, let's try this one. This time round, let's interceptor and manipulate it. That's gonna be interesting. Yeah, let's do it. Let's perfect. That's right. Perfect. Oh, look at that. So, I again, I again, again. Um, okay. Wow, interesting. Then, oh, faster. Forward. I mean, that was that's that. Ready, go. Wow, you. So it's me. I'm sending the message. Hi, alkaline. So let's try to exploit. Let's make some cross-site scripting here. Nobody wants to make some. Let's check. Let's see if there's a payload. That's payload. Payload right there. Payload. Over. Yeah. This endpoint. Forward. Oh, can see. So we exploited the WebSocket messages vulnerability to cross-site scripting. When this pop-ups, it pop-ups on my endpoint, on my end, and the client, the server side, it gets some pop-up for the support team, which is making it a critical vulnerability. Yeah. What? Let's start. I think from the lab. The data. Let's do it manually. The payload. Two, three, four. That's it. For the last time. How to reconnect. Connect. My payload. My single payload. There you go. I've solved the lab. That's also quite easier. So I think our session comes to almost an end. I was looking at this. So it's time for questions and comments, additions and subtractions. I mean, when this was my first question, it was a first question that was sent to me at 15:45 hours today. Good afternoon. I was kindly inquiring that our next session, let's cover how to write a BugBounty report. Okay, let's do some report writing. We got the SQL injection, we got the cross-site scripting, we got the IDOR. Okay, I'm gonna talk about IDORs, but in the next session. Meanwhile, let's do some report writing. So, for BugBounty report writing, yes, you have a valid and exploitable vulnerability. What's next? Let's see what a quality BugBounty report consists of. A new page, you have a BugBounty, you have a report. So, vulnerability is, we have a SQL injection. Yeah, let's use this. Let's use the SQL injection. Yeah, so we copy, ensure this, and this pointer. Also copy this, the command for the victim so that they can produce. Okay, so we have the introduction part of writing a report. Yeah, at the introduction part, maybe it's optional. You can, if it is an external program, if it is a program with a Hall of Fame, you can maybe say your name, and stuff. I mean, introduction. Then we have the description part. The description part. Description part. Okay. At this point, you explain the vulnerability. What's a SQL injection? What's a SQL injection? Assuming maybe the Triggy team, the guy reading your report, is new maybe to the vulnerability. Explain. Okay, I had a similar situation when I reported a given vulnerability to some programmer. It was I reported a HTTP request smuggling. The team just closed the report as an A, and I was wondering. I mean, taking over the admin and the server, then the team closed the vulnerability as an A. Okay, what ended up? They had to bring a session on board. I explained the vulnerability because after even giving them the video POC, the screenshot, and the rest, it was a hell of them to reproduce the vulnerability. Okay, so after the description, so the Triggy team has a clear concept of what the vulnerability is. Then, following the description, we have the steps to reproduce, show a proof of concept, normally known as the POC. Yeah. Here we have the steps. Maybe let's start step 1. Open SQL map. Yeah, here you go. Here's the command. Give them the command. And then okay, the steps, you get it. Then maybe you can come and copy the data over here where the payload is. The payload is here. Oh, yeah, it's a good POC. Yeah. Copy it, paste it. Yeah. Attach a video proof of concept. Attach screenshots and the rest. And then after writing that proof of concept, you can write mitigation steps. Preventing the vulnerability, mitigation steps. How to prevent the vulnerability. After which you are allowed to accompany. Okay, so this is optional. You have the references, also optional. Then I send you a report. Quite easy. Meanwhile, that was a practical session. Any questions? Pick up link for the checklist and dropping it in a second. It link to the website Socket Security sharing in a view. WhatsApp group link. Okay, let me show. Give me the WhatsApp group link. Interesting thing here. So if you wanna join the Shield team, just start sharing the WhatsApp group link with that. Paste. That's the group link. The session was good but faster. The session every Thursday. Wow, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for being faster. I don't know why, but I promise next time I will change. This is the session every Thursday. All right, we used to have the sessions back then, but maybe for some difficulties and busy schedules, so we will drop them and we plan for this. Then next Thursday, yeah, from now henceforth, the session will be live every Thursday. Question? All right, I'm open for collabs, hacking collabs, and the rest. Meeting is recorded and it will be available in a few minutes to come. Link. You do NCTR. My Twitter link. Wow, yeah, I do CTFs. I've been out of CTF, but I'll be back soon and soon enough. Maybe this week and this week, yeah, from early next week, Monday, I'll be back to CTF. But again, now you can check write-ups on my page for the CTFs. Those of you who wanna join the Cyber Talents Bootcamp, what I must to solve the challenges. I've given you the solutions. Don't miss it. The link for this session. It will be available on our WhatsApp group and yeah. No worries, reach out and find that's my Twitter. Maybe you can find the group. I reach out to CTFs. We do play something good game. Guys who love soccer, play football. Guys who love athletics, they play Olympic games. Hackers, we do CTFs. Trust it. Any question? Or comment, you can unmute your mics and stuff if you have a question. All right, being no question, Yeah, exactly. CTFs are basic, Due to no question, I think I would like to congratulate you guys for spending the 1 hour time and dedicating your time for this session. I am very grateful. Next week we're gonna have some new guy on the speakers on the practical session. I think keep pushing. I think that that's interesting. So guys, thanks. Happy hacking. Most importantly, peace. Welcome, Sabrina Mwanga. Okay, let me share the group link. If you wanna join the group, so